Welcome back, everybody, to AFL Advance. This is Josh, and with me tonight is Sham. What's going on, Sham?
What's up, motherfuckers?
Sham, we have a special guest tonight. It's our first AFL member profile we're doing tonight as the owner of the Green Bay Packers. Fish is on with us. What's going on, Fish?
Hey, not much, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing well, doing well. Not quite as well as your Packers, though. You're off to a 6-1 start this season. The only hiccup you had was the loss to the Dallas Cowboys, but you're rolling along. Started off the season with a 4-game win streak, 6-1. Just talk to us about what's going on with your Packers this year.
You know what? I'm probably just as surprised as anybody. I expected early on that my team would at least make the playoffs in year one because I have Aaron Rodgers, and just the quarterbacks in my division just aren't Aaron Rodgers. So early on, I expected my team to at least compete for the division, but I didn't expect to get off to this type of start, especially with the schedule I played. I played, the Seahawks, the Falcons, just a really good schedule, and then I saw your Bears and all the trades you made, and you got a great squad going over there. So I'm just happy to be off to this good start. I'm sticking to my game plan. That's what it's about. I'm not going to reveal anything about that, but I've stayed disciplined, and we're just going to keep playing disciplined football.
So you and I had an absolute classic game. It was a little bit tarnished by the fact that we had a fourth quarter disconnect where we had to sit there for 20 minutes and recreate it. But that is what it is. But at the end of the game, it was fun. I had 2 touchdowns at the end, and you hold off on a 2-point conversion. That was a classic. But that wasn't your only close game of the season. Your first 4 wins were all by 1 possession. Now, we've talked about that Bears-Packers game in depth on an earlier edition of AFL Advance. Is there another game on your schedule, whether it's the Seahawks overtime win, the big win over Costas Falcons in Atlanta, or the game against the Bengals that stands out to you as kind of a statement game for you?
I feel like the Falcons game would have been the biggest win for my team, just because I feel like we did some things on defense I really liked. Like, I was really worried Julio Jones was just going to go ape shit on my team. Sorry. And
oh no, you can cuss on here.
Did his thing. Okay, he still did his thing. I mean, Julio Jones is going to be Julio Jones, but we were able to contain that defense, or that offense. And since then, we've been playing great defense. I mean, we had the game against your Bears. We shut you guys down for 3 quarters, and you came back at us on the 4th. That vertical passing game, you can't hold it down for 4 quarters. It's really tough. And then we came back, we shut down the Vikings, we shut down the Saints, so just getting off to that defense and really getting my defense down was the key there, and it all started in that Falcons game.
Now, we all know there's kind of a timeline drawn when before the patch came out and after the patch came out, and we've all experienced the difference in the game. Before the patch came out, your offensive scores were 30, 45, 28, 24. Since the patch came out, and you're not alone in this, by the way, I think we're all suffering a little bit, it's been 6, 14, and 17. Is that more about quality of opponent, or have you noticed a noticeable difference with the patch?
You know what? It's been pretty frustrating because my last few games I've been experiencing lag in the play call menu, and then I get on the field and it feels like my players are on ice skates. There was one time last game in the Saints game, I don't know if you can go back and watch the tape, but I had my corner and I was using him over the middle, and he had his player stop right in the middle on sort of a comeback route, and I tried to stop, and my player landed literally all the way to the sideline before he could stop, because that's just the delay I had. So it's been rough just trying to get a game where I can just play offense lag-free. I did play one earlier in another league where I had 28 yards of offense, so I do think the patch has definitely increased defense ability. But I still think with Aaron Rodgers and my running game, I'm going to be able to keep moving the ball even with the patch. But I just hope that come playoff time, if I happen to make it, that I can have a lag-free game, because it's really, really frustrating me.
Well, so far so good. Patch or no patch, your team is 6-1. You're leading the NFC North right now, and you've made several trades that I think have improved an already really good offense. You shipped away Devontae Adams, but you got back John Ross, who is everybody's favorite rookie this year. I'm looking at your wide receiver core right now, if my thumbs could keep up with my mouth, and it looks like you got John Ross, Tyler Boyd, Jeff Janis. So you've made over this entire core, but you've got youth and speed, especially with Ross. But then Janis is no slouch either with 92 speed, and Boyd's a nice underneath receiver that looks like he could become a Devontae Adams type with a little bit of XP. Just talk about overall what some of your ideas were when you were building this roster.
Well, first off, I wanted to get off by just building a good core on the offensive line. Luckily with the Packers, I came in with Bakhtiari, who I think is one of the best left tackles in the game, and Ulaga, who was at right tackle, but we're playing him at center because of his awareness. And from there, we went and got J.C. Treader and Taylor Decker to really shore up the line and make sure that, we're going to give Rodgers time to pass the ball. And we went and got Adrian Peterson so we can pound the rock. And that's where I really wanted to start building the identity for this team. Like, if all else fails, we're going to be able to pound the rock. So, and then my mindset with Aaron Rodgers, I can play possession football with Aaron Rodgers. I can get the third down. I can make a route, put the ball right when only my receiver can get it, so I can make a play. So it was a loss losing Devontae because he was that guy that I could rely on third down. But, the explosiveness of John Ross combined with the running game of Adrian Peterson is just, I don't think it's going to be able to be stopped once I get it going, if I can get it going. If John Ross ever gets back on the field. Because, you load the box, you load the box, you got to play John Ross one-on-one on the outside. You got to come up and defend John Ross at the line of scrimmage. And if you do that, then, you're giving up the big play over the top, or you're giving up the screen. Just John Ross creates so much fear for the defense that it also takes away attention to all the other guys on your offense, We're not even talking about Demetrius Harris, who's 6'7" tight end, who can 89 acceleration, move from the speed. Like, he gets going down your seam, that's big trouble, No linebacker's going to keep up with him. So we got a lot of good things going on this offense.
Yeah, I like the way you've built your team. You've brought in playmakers. You got rid of some, but you've got younger at key areas. Your team is built to win now, but also built to win in the future. You did mention Ross's injury, ruptured disc. He's out for 9 more weeks. That is including this current week we're in, and your bye week is next week. So he's only going to miss 7 games for you, and he would be back in time for the playoffs if you were to make them. Now, to wrap up this little spotlight, Sham, you guys have been labbing, and you are not surprised at the success Fisher had. And it's not that we were knocking him. We just didn't know him very well. You thought early on this was a guy that could make some noise, correct?
I mean, no, honestly, yeah. Like you guys chose that. That honestly, I'm surprised that he hasn't been putting up more points. Especially early on, like what he put up. Like we've been labbing some things, and I won't share them, but the offense is really scary. If he sticks to what we've labbed. It's pretty scary. It's pretty scary. His offense is really, really scary. And we're just like, most of the time we're just joking around and playing around, is trying to figure things out. But if he gets the ball rolling like how he wants to, and like he says, sticks to the script that he has for himself, he's going to be hard to beat.
All right, Fisher. Well, we got to put you through the grill here because we got to get to know you. You're a relatively newer guy. Guys want to know about you, so I'm just going to ask some rapid-fire questions, and you can answer them. First one is, who's your favorite football team?
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. And that's kind of strange because you're a New York sports fan as well, right?
Haha, yeah.
Okay. Do you play Madden standing up or sitting down?
Oh, sitting down. Is standing up a thing?
Standing up is a thing. It surprises me, but I know MVP plays standing up. Some other guys play standing up. We actually have a guy, Magic, who plays laying down.
Yeah, I can't laying down. I get blown out doing that.
All right, Fisher, I don't believe the answer to this is yes, but are you a dad?
I'm not a dad.
Okay,
hopefully
well, you're...
soon.
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully soon. So you will be part of the Dad Life Club, and we definitely have plenty of sympathy for that when it comes to scheduling games in AFL. Sham will be the first to tell you the dad population in AFL has gotten a little out of hand in recent years. Well, I appreciate you coming on and doing a little AFL spotlight. Are you ready to pick some Week 8 games with us?
Let's pick these games. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. We're going to take a look at week number 8. All right, guys, the first game on the schedule, Thursday Night Football, is going to be in Baltimore as the 2-4 Ravens and Field of Dreams will host Prime's Miami Dolphins, and they are 4-3. Sham, I know you talked to Prime quite a bit. It seems like he's really discouraged with himself. He's had a couple of tough losses to MVP and Costa, but he's still 4-3 when you look at the record. The whole season's in front of him if he can turn it around. I think he gets a win this week. It sounds like he might be going with Jay Cutler at quarterback. If he can get out of his own way emotionally, I think he can get on a run here, but it needs to start in Baltimore this week against a struggling Ravens team that's playing without their top two receivers, Jeremy Maclin and Mike Wallace. I think Prime gets it done. What do you think, Sham?
As much as Prime is one of my guys, like I want to root for him, but I can't because we're both jockeying for a playoff position. But if he doesn't get out of his way, this game I have to go with Frank. But if Prime does, if he can control himself emotionally, he'll definitely, take this one.
All right, Fish, you got to break the tie here. You taking the 4-3 Dolphins, or you taking the 2-4 Ravens?
I'm gonna have to go with Prime. He's been struggling against the good guys, but he's been beating the teams he's got to beat. So he's got to win this one. He's gonna do it.
Yep, this is definitely a team he needs to beat if he's going to make it to January football. Let's take a look at the Sunday afternoon slate. In Cleveland, we have Care Bears Browns. They got off to a hot start this year, but they've struggled as of late. Took some tough losses to Stokes and MVP and SJR. They host Mustangs Vikings. Now, the Vikings are 2-4. They're also struggling. They haven't played their Week 7 game at the time that we're recording this, but he has made over that offense. He's brought in Alshon Jeffrey, brought in Tyler Eifert, brought in Tavon Austin, brought in Des Bryant. That offense is ready to roll, especially with the 1-2 punch at running back with Murray and Cooks. If he can figure out offense, he's going to be able to put up points. I'm going to go with Kreppel this week, though, with his Browns. I know they've been struggling up and down. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think the Browns find a way to get back on track this week and get to 5-3. Sham, who do you like?
Stang is my guy. I love Huggy Bear, but Stang is my guy. He's sneaky good on defense, and actually his most recent game, he just played his last game and he won. No turnovers. So I'm just hoping that's a new trend for him.
Is that the game Week 7 against the Ravens?
Yes.
Oh, it already went final. Okay, breaking news here on AFL Advance, 17-7. The Vikings are now 3-4. So if they were to win in Cleveland next week, they'd pull to 500. It kind of makes me want to change my pick. You know what? I'm gonna change my pick, and you know why? That game is not in Cleveland, guys. That game is in London. No home field advantage. Give me the Vikings. Give me Minnesota royalty, and I don't even know why I'm saying that because of Prince, I guess. But whatever. Give me the Vikings. Who you got, Fish?
I just want to see the presentation on that London game. I wonder if it's special, but I had the pleasure to play in the Vikings last week. I think if he sticks to a game plan, like I think he's trying to go vertical too much with his wide receivers. I think if he just plays ball control, if he's able to hit Des Bryant on some underneath routes and break some tackles and get some offensive momentum going and stop throwing picks, to safeties, then he has a real chance of winning this game. But I really like what Kreppel's doing. He's got a good defense. He took a couple of tough losses lately. He played Stokes and MVP, so who's not going to lose those games? But I like what he's doing. That Browns team looks good. I got to go with the Browns.
It's going to be fun to watch, especially with the backdrop of London for that game. Let's get back to the United States here, as in Buffalo, the 5-0 Buffalo Bills in Nino will take on Bo's Oakland Raiders, who are 1-6. Now, the Bills are going to be playing without their starting quarterback, Tyrod Taylor. He got injured. I look for the rookie quarterback, Nathan Peterman, to take over. It doesn't matter to me. This is one of the easier games on the slate. Bo has really been struggling. He's throwing picks at a record pace. I think that'll keep up this week. I think the Bills win, and it's not going to be close. Sham?
You know what? As bad as it looks, Bo doesn't suck. I don't know. Maybe it's lag. I don't know. Maybe he's coming home tired from work. I don't know. He's not that bad, but I'll go with the Bills.
Fish?
I got a lot of respect for Bo. He was one of my rivals in Madden 17, so it's tough for me to see him struggling like this. I really thought he'd do a lot better with those Raiders in the AFC West. That being said, I think Nino can play without any starters and still win this game. He's playing great Madden, and he's going to be tough to beat. So give it
All right, we all agree there. And now we're going to go to Cincinnati as SJR's 2-4 Cincinnati Bengals will play host to Magic's 1-6 Indianapolis Colts. The Colts had that big win week 1 over Joker's Rams and have since dropped 6 straight. They had been close, but then they got blown out last week at the hands of the Jaguars. Magic is trending in the wrong direction, but SJR isn't really trending up at this point. He did win last week against Flip's Steelers, but when you look at some of the trades he's making, it seems like he has one eye on the future, trading off some assets for draft picks. I still think SJR will find a way to win this game. Magic's really struggling. I think the Bengals win a close one. Give me the Bengals. Sham?
Bengals.
And Fish.
I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna take Magic. I think SJR, even when he wins, it's a struggle, and he played me great. He was one of the toughest challenges for me so far this season. So I just think Magic, he's getting beat, but he's playing good. He's playing good people. So give me Magic.
All right, so Magic gets a vote there. All right, in New England, we have Hitman's New England Patriots. They are 2-4. They've taken some forced losses due to the hurricane. We hope all is well with our guy Dan Quinn. He hosts RVD's Chargers. They are 1-5. I don't really want to get into too much analysis of this. Quinn really hasn't been on the field to represent his team. RVD's been struggling. He actually gave Bo his first win of the season, but I'm going to say the Chargers win this one, whether it's by forced loss or just RVD finding a way to win. But I don't want to sit here and give too much analysis because Quinn just hasn't had a chance to really represent himself this year for reasons that are way more important than Madden. Sham?
Yeah, just, it is what it is.
Fish?
Quinn, when he's played, he's taken some tough losses. I think some time away from the game, like do his game good too. So if he comes back, I think he gets the win. But yeah,
I just hope guys like Quinn and Reese, even JD down there, who's close to that area, and Ridge and Pepe, guys that used to be in it. I hope they're all just staying safe because that's some scary stuff we're seeing. In New Orleans, JT's Saints are 1-5. They also won week 1 and have since dropped 5 straight. They will play host to my Chicago Bears. Now, my Bears got Mitch Trubisky back after AJ McCarron went 2-1 as the starter. My Bears are 4-3. But Trubisky's not going to be under center this week. We acquired a new starting quarterback, Drew Brees, the former Saint, and under center for the Saints will be Blake Bortles. So my Bears, I think, have an advantage from a quarterback standpoint, but it's a game I have to win. I dropped the game last week in disappointing fashion to the Panthers. I just couldn't complete a pass to save my life. AJ McCarron's 86 throw power and mediocre accuracy just finally caught up to me. I need to find a way to win this game. I don't predict my own games on this show. Sham, who do you think is going to win this game between the 1-5 Saints and the 4-3 Bears?
Justin, who cares, Thomas. Fuck you, buddy. I'm going with you, Josh.
All right, Fish, you got to pick your division rival here. You picking me to win or you picking me to lose?
You know what? Underrated with the Bears. They've had a lockdown defense this year. It's not been mentioned much because every time we seem to talk Bears, we're talking about QBs for some reason, but we really got to talk about this Bears defense because it's been really great. So I think Justin's going to struggle against the Bears defense with the downgrading QB. So give me the Bears, definitely.
All right. Hey guys, we had some technical issues with this portion of the schedule. This area of the show did not record correctly. Fish and Sham and I did go through and predict these games, but it just didn't record, so I'm going to preview these next few games, and then when we get to the Sunday night and Monday night games, we'll get back to Fish, Sham, and myself previewing those games. In New York, Swag's Jets, 1 win on the season, will host Costa's 4-3 Atlanta Falcons. The way Costa's playing right now, I think it's going to be very difficult to see a way where Swag wins this game. Falcons are 4-3. They are playing without Vic Beasley, but the way Costa is running the ball with Coleman, it's just hard for me to imagine a scenario where the Jets can A, put up enough defense in this game, and B, score enough points to keep pace with Costa. Now, Sham brought up a good point when we discussed this game, which you won't be able to hear, that if Swag can find a way to slow down the run, it'll put Costa in an uncomfortable position where he has to throw the ball more, and we haven't seen him have to do that yet outside of the Packers game where he turned the ball over and lost the game. So if Swag can do that, this game could get interesting. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Jets will lose a close game here. Falcons get to 4-2. We don't know what happened in week 7. The winless Eagles, 0-7 in emo, will play host to Danny's 49ers, who are currently sitting at 6-0. The 49ers beat Bailey's Redskins last week in a battle of previously unbeaten teams. I don't see any scenario where Danny comes off a huge win over the Redskins. They beat an undefeated team, and then they come back and lose to a winless team. It's just not going to happen. Emo's struggling too much. Give me the 49ers. I think Danny wins big. I love this game in the NFC South. JD's Bucks, sitting at 3-3, haven't played their Week 7 game yet against Nino's Bills, will play host to Rod's Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are 4-3, had a big win over my Bears last week. The Panthers, Bucks, and Falcons are all jockeying for position in the NFC South. It's a 3-horse race right now, and this game will go a long way to determining who's going to win this division. I believe this is the first matchup between either of these 3 teams against each other, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I think JD's going to win, but what I said about Rod is, when I played him, he does a good job of getting himself into favorable plays on offense. If you bring your D-backs to the line and try to play the run, he's going to pop it over your head to some speedy receivers on the outside. He audibles himself into favorable matchups on offense. You have to be on your toes. I think this is going to be a chess match, but I think JD is up to that. If JD can keep from throwing those interceptions that have hurt him so badly in his losses, I think the Bucks can go on a little run this season, but it has to start this week against Carolina in a huge NFC South matchup. Stokes' Houston Texans will take the field for the first time this season without Deshaun Watson and without Corey Grant. Corey Grant was on pace to potentially be the MVP of AFL Season 1. He is now lost until the playoffs. Watson is out for a handful of weeks. The bigger injury here is Corey Grant. Stokes is much more of a runner than a passer. Tom Savage will take over at quarterback. At running back, acquired Dre Archer from the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Archer will be able to simulate enough of what Grant did in that offense, but if he struggles, just look for Jeremy Hill to take over as the lead back in Houston. T-Mag's been playing okay. He only has 2 wins on the season. I don't think he has enough to get a victory here, even without Corey Grant in Houston. I think Stokes will get enough out of his running game with Hill and Archer to get a win in Seattle. An NFC East rivalry will take place in Washington this week as Bailey's Redskins, off their first loss of the season, will play host to Roman's Cowboys, who are currently 2-3. Now, the thing about Bailey's Redskins is, I say this all the time on the show, I like to see how guys respond after a loss, especially when they start hot. We talked about it with Fisher earlier in the season when he was 4-0, lost a game, and then let's see what happens. Are you a contender or a pretender? Pretenders tend to let one loss snowball into 2, 3, 4, 5. Contenders shake it off, move on with their life, start winning again. I think Bailey is too experienced. He's had too much success in AFL. He's got 3 Super Bowls to his name. I think Bailey's way too talented to let one loss turn into 2, 3, or 4. This is a game he should win against what I think is an inferior opponent. He has a better roster. He's a better player than Roman. I think the Redskins win this game and get back on track this week. And now we'll go back to the remainder of our picks with Sham and Fish. Alright guys, let's go to the Sunday night football game between the Detroit Lions and KK the Destroyer. They are 4-2, and they will be hosting Flip's Pittsburgh Steelers, who are currently 2-5. A disappointing season for Flip. Flip will also be playing this game without the services of Devontae Freeman. Look, I like Flip. I like the roster he's built in Pittsburgh, but the way these two guys are playing with KK, with what he's doing with that deficient Lions roster, I'm not picking him to lose this game. I think the Lions win, and potentially they'll win big on Sunday Night Football. Sham?
Yeah, I don't know what direction to really go in with this game. You know what? I'm gonna go with KK. What am I thinking? KK.
Fish?
KK is someone that I've had a long-standing rivalry with since like Madden 14. A lot of you guys don't know that, but I've played a lot of games against KK, and he's a really tough opponent. He comes with a great D no matter who he's got on the field, and I don't think Vic is prepared for that. I think when KK wins this game, and when Josh wins his game, NFC North is going to be even tighter than it is right now, which is scary. So, give me KK. And here we go, NFC North into the second half.
All right, the last game on the schedule, Monday Night Football at Arrowhead. Shams Kansas City Chiefs 4-3 after the win last week against the Raiders. A much-needed win, Sham, after going 3-0 to start the season, losing your next 3, get off the schneid last week. It's funny, you lose 3 in a row and you feel like your season's going down the tubes, but now you look up, you won a game and you have a winning record. I think you just need to take a deep breath and realize this season is far from over, but the season could be on the line this week on Monday Night Football against the Broncos. They are 3-2. To me, the Chargers and the Raiders have fallen completely out of this race. This is a 2-horse race, no pun intended with the Broncos here. But I think the winner of this game is going to have a huge leg up in seeing who wins this division. Now, the Broncos haven't played their game yet in Week 7. That's coming up probably as we speak against RVD's Chargers. We'll see if the Broncos are either 4-2 or 3-3 heading into this game. Sham, you're going to be going with Jameis Winston at quarterback. He was your quarterback last week when you got the victory. You traded away Pat Mahomes. I like what you've done with your roster. I'm going to say you keep momentum going. You stick to the run. You stick to the run. You stick to the run. And when you get ready to pass, I want you to remember me saying this. You stick to the run. You stick to the run. And you find a way to get a victory and not throw your way out of this game. You're going to have to make some plays in the passing game, but against this Broncos secondary, I just want to see you stick to the run, manage your way to a victory, and take control of this division that is just begging for somebody to take control of it. Fish, who do you like in this game?
Me and Sham have been labbing. I gotta say, A-Bomb is someone I've also played a lot of games against. He's not gonna be someone who's gonna beat himself. If you're gonna beat A-Bomb, you gotta beat him. He's not gonna come out there and hand the game to you. So you gotta take it to him. You can't turn the ball over. You gotta beat him. I was gonna pick Sham until he told me that he hopes John Ross gets injured when he steps onto the field.
Fair. This is, yeah.
So I think A-Bomb wins in demolishing fashion. I think he wins 100-0, and Sham drops out of the league for getting destroyed by the Broncos.
Sham rage quits.
It's gonna be a great game. I'm really looking forward to it. Give me A-Bomb down to the last possession, but Sham can easily win it too. Down to the last possession. Who's ever got the ball last one?
All right, Sham, you have the final thoughts on this game. What needs to happen for your Chiefs to get this victory?
Ball control. Like in the three straight wins, ball control. Like in the last one I think I had 27 carries for 95 yards worth of jive. And, after that, it just, I had some personal issues. So my focus wasn't on the games per se. And then, against Flip, I literally, not to take the game away from Flip, but I had my chances to put the game away. And instead of running the ball, I passed the ball. So it's definitely going to be, Henry getting the ball maybe 27 times this game. So I'm going to pick myself, of course.
All right, guys. Well, that is a look at Week 8. Fish, enjoy your bye week. Hope John Ross is at home licking his wounds and getting ready for this late season stretch run. He should be back in time for the playoffs. Thanks again for joining us. I hope you enjoyed your AFL debut here on the airwaves.
No, yeah, I'm enjoying the league. I had a great time, Props to you guys. You're doing a great job, Commission. So keep up the good work and looking forward to the second half of the first season.
All right, Sham, thanks for coming on again, and stop asking for Leonard Floyd.
No chance.
No chance. All right, our trade talks will resume as soon as we get off the air here. All right, we'll see you guys next time on AFL Advance.